course of your time at the polling station, but I'll be taking you through that process later. Let's just focus on the papers right about now. The Daily Nation, what is contained in the Daily Nation today? Who takes it? And it has a picture of both President, or rather the Deputy President William Ruto and the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Ruto versus Raila, worlds apart. William Samoei Ruto, a youthful 55, and on his first presidential campaign, still radiates the vigor of the YK92 era when he made his entry into politics. So still a fresh-faced university graduate at the dawn of multi-partyism, and it is all contained in the Daily Nation. And of course, continues to paint the parallels between the Deputy President and Raila Odinga. Uhuru talks to Mount Kenya in last dash broadcast. That was broadcast last night in Kikuyu radio stations and two Kikuyu TV stations. President Uhuru Kenyatta's address to the Mount Kenya region, his bedrock of support, and talking to them about his hits and misses during his reign and era as President of the Republic of Kenya for the last 10 years. What Kenyans will be voting for tomorrow is in the Daily Nation, page 2. All the presidential candidates have released their manifestos and spoken about them throughout, so you can be able to sift through them, and those manifestos are still available. So if you have not made a decision, if you are one among the undecided, you can still peruse through the manifestos and probably make your decision in the course of it. A tale of two men, how Ruto and Raila have crossed paths for 30 years. I think it details all of the history of the two men and how they have worked together sometime and how they have not worked together in so many times. That story is detailed on the Daily Nation, page 4. And page number 6, you have Ruto, Raila turned to God ahead of Paul yesterday. Both of them were in different services. The Deputy President was the Jesus Teaching Ministry and Donholm, seeking divine intervention, while Raila Odinga and his running mate Mother Karua are the KICC for an interdenominational service and prayer. And that is how the Daily Nation has covered this election. There's so much, so many more details lined up on the Daily Nation that you can be able to review and have a look at once you purchase the paper. Let's go to the election process as is what is expected of you as a voter tomorrow when you wake up very early in the morning to go queue at the polling station. Remember, each and every polling station has 700 voters. Remember, not a polling center, a polling station, 700 voters. That means in the stream that you will be in, you will not be more than 700. That aids the work of counting votes and also aids the process in a major way. So, like I said, the polling stations will open at 6 a.m. and run through to 5 p.m. All polling stations will open at 6 a.m. and run through to 5 p.m. Now, you will be identified electronically with a stamped, with a KIMS kit. You remember, once you get to the polling center, you will place your fingers, all of them, on the KIMS kit, and that's how you are identified biometrically. You will be identified biometrically once you enter the polling station, and that means then you need to carry your identification card as well as the only thing you need actually is your identification card. If then you don't have your identification card, you can still carry your passport. It depends what document you used to register as a voter. A voter then, after identification using the KIMS kit, will be issued with 6 stamped ballot papers. 6 stamped ballot papers is what you will be issued with by the clerk of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, and then you will have the presidential ballot marked in white color. That is, the presidential ballot paper is white in color. The governor ballot is blue in color. The senator ballot is yellow in color. Member of Parliament is pink in color. Woman representative, green in color. Member of County Assembly, beige in color. And then once you have them, you will go to a secret booth where you will mark against your favorite candidates by either ticking or putting an X mark against the candidate that you want to elect. And there is a box provided for. So your tick or X must be inside that box. The tick or X must be inside that ballot box. And once you have marked against your candidates, that's the 6 of them, you will go to the ballot boxes. The ballot boxes have colors corresponding to the ballot that you have. The lids of those ballot boxes have colors that correspond with the ballot you have. For example, the pink lid means then that is the ballot box of a member of National Assembly. And it is also indicated there. It is also indicated on that ballot box that this is the ballot box for the member of a National Assembly. Once that is done, and you have done that, you only need to go to the clerk after you have been able to cast your ballot for the marking of indelible ink, which is either done on your small finger or this space between the middle finger and the index finger. And once that is done, you exit the polling station. The next time you see is in the next election, you wait outside the polling station and preferably at home for the results to be tallied, and you get those results. So Victor, that is how that is as far as it goes in terms of exercising your right tomorrow as a voter.
Very well. On the front page of the Standard, why Kenya needs you. Why Kenya needs you. Tomorrow, Wananchi will brave long queues to elect the country's 5th president and other leaders. There has never been a better time for Kenyans to demonstrate their civic duty to vote. Now that is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. Leaders turn to prayers a day to the election. We have got pictures here of Azimio flag bearer Raila Odinga and his running mate Martha Karua, where they had their prayer yesterday at the KICC, as well as UDA presidential candidate William Ruto with Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja during a prayer church service at Jesus Teaching Ministry in Donholm in Nairobi. That is on what's on the front page of the Standard here. And of course, Kiore, you've given that breakdown on how elections will be done, which was also conducted by IBC, the simulation. It will not be mandatory, according to the Standard, it will not be mandatory to cast ballot for all 6 elective posts. Now, the reason is unused ballot papers will be dropped in the respective boxes and counted as rejected in the valley, and the presiding officers will submit updates to the returning officer on the turnout in their polling stations. So the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC, has changed regulations, and it will not now be mandatory for a voter to cast all the 6 ballot papers handed to them once they walk into a polling station. This emerged yesterday during a voting simulation exercise conducted by IBC. Now, the decision seeks to cure one of the most complicated legal issues that played out at the Supreme Court in 2017, where and contributed to the nullification of the presidential results. Now, according to the details provided during the simulation, it is now a legal requirement that the voter must be handed the 6 ballot papers once he or she walks into the polling station. So that is what's there. So that, remember, the CJ asked what happens to the rejected votes or ballots during the 2017 presidential case hearing. And there was a back and forth as to where those papers would be taken to, whether they would be counted or not. And now it's now mandatory for every voter to get all the 6 ballot papers. All right. So according to the paper here, clerics urge leaders, Kenyans, to shun violence and accept poll results. Clerics urge leaders to shun violence and accept poll results. Clergy advise leaders who will lose not to resort to violence, but to go to court. I think that's in order. We can never, ever emphasize about that. That is just that. A vote for your favorite candidate. This is a vote for Kenya. More of an opinion here, and an interesting read for you to take a look at is a full page read here, so that you can take a look why this is not a vote for your favorite candidate, but it's about Kenya. You can take a look at that Of course, we are also looking at Raila dedicates nation to God in solemn prayer, as well as Ruto come out in numbers and vote peacefully. We have got 2 pages here of different leaders. Yesterday, they, went to church. Finally, somebody said that after all is said and done, one person will reign supreme, God. And that is the way to go. As I give it back to you, Kyoria. Yes. Atudonyang jet back 3 days to the election. This Kanu governor, candidate Nicholas Atudonyang, who was elected as Governor John Lonyangapuo's deputy in 2017. There has been back and forth about his presence or his whereabouts. And now he's back.
Paul Atudonyang is an interesting character to me in so many ways, because since 2017, the election of 2017, I think he has appeared in West Pokot for very few counted times. The structure of that and how he took up that position, knowing very well that he has other responsibilities in the United States of America, as well choreographed. Because think about it. Lonyangapuo has had his run in West Pokot without interruption or probably any headache from his deputy. Yeah. So sometimes I think it's just very convenient, if you ask me, that the deputy is away and so the governor can run as much as he wants, and that's just it. And I hope the people of West Pokot or any other place will not have to elect, a leader who is away for years and months. But anyway, Atudonyang, welcome back. He will have the moment to exercise his democratic rights as a Kenyan in this election.
All right.
Let me look a bit at the star before we hand it over to Jane to take us through what she has on this smartboard. Moment of truth for Raila and Ruto, and you have the pictures at the front page of both of them in prayer. Raila Odinga and Mother Karua, the KICC, and Deputy President William Ruto. And
whatever happens and the results that come out will be accepted in a peaceful manner. So he's really trying to balance up many things. There are a lot of actors that are coming into play trying to push him whichever direction.
Kinaendelea katika sehemu hiyo.
With the normal love for the young people who have, I came in the platforms that we wore that time, and the bell bottom. But now, aging graciously, I thank my Lord that he has kept me strong all this time.
Zara.
I am appreciative with the support I got from the Defense Headquarters, from the Ministry, and from the Chief of Defense Forces, General Kiboshi himself. That support and support of all my formation commanders, led by the Deputy Army Commander, the General Officers Commanding, and all the formation commanders, and the soldier, made it happen. The army stands firm not because of the army commander, but because of the resilience of the army soldier. As I hand over the reins of power, this power can only be good if it is serving the purpose for which you have been given. I hand over to my friend, General NJIRU, at a time when the army is deployed in 6 theaters. The army is deployed in close operations. It is deployed in hotspots. It is deployed in internal security. It is deployed in Boni. It is deployed in Somalia. and I have troops in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And those troops and those in between are the ones that keep the army commander awake more hours than you would have expected. But I want to encourage the incoming army commander that the support you have from the men and women of the army, both officers and service members, is one you can count on. And mine is to urge all in the army to provide the best support possible to the incoming commander. Commanders are appointed to take the lead and work through other leaders. And therefore, from the private to the general, everybody has a role to play. And you can only succeed through humility and working with them. My unbroken service ends today as I hand over the stewardship of the army. But my comfort is that the experience that General NJIRU has in diverse fields makes him capable to take charge in the current dynamic and complex defense and security environment. The Army is an institution charged with the unstinting and unwavering task of protecting this country, its interests, and future prosperity against all land-based threats and aggression. And that is why the motto says, Kenya Army, ngao ya taifa. Kenya Army is the shield of this nation. And to be able to protect the lives of Kenyans and their property, you need a cohesive, united army. The Kenya Defense Forces prides in jointness, and therefore, as for you, General NJIRU, as you lead the army, the joint aspect of working with the Air Force, with the Kenya Air Force and the Kenya Navy, creates more strength for the army. Kenya Army, as a constituent of the Kenya Defense Forces, has played a huge role in national agenda by engaging in national development projects, which has greatly improved our image. This opportunity has definitely taken even higher the aspects of Kenya Defense Forces contributing to national development. As the Army, you will be called from time to time to take part in these programs. And therefore, apart from the core mandate that you have, you will also undertake tasks pursuant to our secondary role in supporting other agencies in terms of disaster or other natural calamities. I must also single out the support of the Kenya Army by Defense Headquarters through the initiatives of the Chief of Defense Forces in many programs that have helped improve the lives and the welfare of the Kenya Army. I may not be able to name them all today, but suffice it to say, the Kenya Army today boasts of some of the most modern facilities, to include hospitals, the regional hospitals, housing, and equipment for the army. And that as you take the reins of leading the army, I have no doubt that that support is even going to be improved. There are programs that are completed. There are those that you will continue with. But it is important to remind that equipping the army at all times so that they become the insurance that Kenyans want is a very important aspect to pursue. Allow me also to appreciate the outstanding support that we have had with the new outfit, the Military Wives Association of Kenya. That great bit of ladies of the military is a team you can count on for the welfare of our soldiers. In the short time they have been in office, the troops have found another channel of their support to welfare programs. To you, Madam Tabitha Kiboshi, and your team, I would like to appreciate that you have led your team together with your committee, that today you know where all the soldiers are in terms of barracks, facilities, more than some of the formation commanders. Because formation commanders don't cross over. But you have been able to travel through all the formations to see where you can help. And particularly for a force, the army, which is deployed in operations and challenged by issues of stressful situations, they have found a shoulder to lean on. I thank you very much. To our families who have supported us through our tenure, I joined the army when I came from my place of domicile alone. I did not have a family. I did not have children. But now as I retire, I am happy that KDF did not only give me work, did not only give me wisdom, did not give me friends, but gave me a family. And I want to introduce my wife, Susan. Susan is my wife. And na watoto wasimame. Yeah. My firstborn is not here. He will not be able to be with us because of where he's working, the exigencies of what he does. And therefore, the firstborn is not here. Secondborn is my daughter, Irene. Irene is the firstborn, is the secondborn. Brian is a thirdborn. Evans is the fourth. And my firstborn's wife, Michelle, in the middle. And little granddaughters who are here also to be with us today. Now, this is the army I'm going to lead now, from now on. And I will be the commander. Susan will be my deputy. That cabinet is not a bad one. It is smaller than the one I've been managing. This big one was my wapi formation commanders wote simama. Formation commanders. GOCs. GOCs. Alafu staff officers simama hapo. Hii watu yote ndio walikuwa kwa mgongo yangu. General NJIRU, you have less work because these good people will work for you. I have no doubt of that. Please sit down. So I leave this big one for this smaller one, and therefore I am going to rest. Otherwise, at this age, kwenda kwa kazi ingine ngumu, hapana rahisi. But I must thank God that through those years, even as we went about the military work, my family has been fully supporting to me. There is no single day they have asked me, what is this Ahmado you keep talking about? What is this Beleskogan you're talking about? They have never asked that. They always prayed that I do the best for the army in the time that I am in the army. I must also add that one of the issues that Military Wives Association pursues is the welfare of the military families. The military families. And I'm happy as I retire. This lady I met long time ago when she was young, I was also not old that time, is the same one I have, na ndiye tunaenda naye Sultan Ahmad pamoja. I urge you, my soldiers, take care of your families, because at retirement, you will begin to ask whether they are going with you or you are going your way. I am happy Susan said we are going the same direction. And that can only happen if you shared what you've worked for with them. If you don't, then you have a problem. I appeal to you to take care of those families. Commander, as I finish, first of all, I offer my prayers. I offer my support when you require. I offer prayers to you and to your family, that God provides you with best wisdom to lead the army and gives you the comfort of mind that your family stays well, so that you keep to the job, because it will take many hours of your family. But with God's support and support of Defense Headquarters and support of these great people and the soldiers, you will make it. I have taken time to take the commander to where the troops are. I have taken him to close ops. I have taken him to Somalia. I have taken him to Lam. He will find a way of going to DRC. But I assured him that the troops in DRC are well, because I saw them recently. And therefore, as he comes in, I have already taken him to most areas, because this was a deliberate plan. And I knew it is important for a commander to understand. Commander, these staff officers and these soldiers seated here are only a fraction of what the army is. You have seen them in the field. But this handover today was about the headquarters Kenya Army. And therefore, these are the staff officers and service members who support you to lead the others outside this camp. And I want to also thank them before you. I must appreciate the staff officers and service members who have supported me in this headquarters for all that we have done in the 4 years. The most important part in the staff, whether they are in operations, training, logistics, medical, or any branch that there is here in the headquarters, is your integrity. Your integrity, and tell the commander the truth, so that he can make decisions based on facts. This headquarters is not about rumors. It is about working. And I have no doubt that you'll provide the same to the commander. There is no day I've woken up feeling different because some letter was in the wrong office. Everybody has done his part, and I say thank you to you. With those many remarks, allow me now to invite the commander, General NJIRU, to speak to us. And where we are adjusting a program a bit after the commander has spoken, and before we sign the command document, the Vice Chancellor, National Defense University, General Jonah Mwangi will speak. General Jonah Mwangi and I joined the same day. This great general, and I'm happy because he's leading our best institution, joined with me the same day. Jonah Mwangi worked with me in this headquarters. I have not seen a worker like Jonah. No wonder he's now the Vice Chancellor of the National Defense University. Jonah and I joined with a group of other 113 officers, and therefore we came 115 to work. It is today I'm leaving Jonah alone to continue. To continue holding the flag of Intake 15 very, very high. And I know you can, Jonah. I will. I know you can. And therefore, Jonah will speak for 1 minute before we sign the documents. For now, I invite the commander to take the podium and speak to us. Thank you, Commander.
Outgoing Commander Kenya Army, Lieutenant General Walter Aria Koipaton, Deputy Army Commander, Vice Chancellor, National Defense University, Kenya, Commandant NDC, Commandant KMA, GOCs, General Officers, Formation Commanders, Chief of Branches, Senior Officers, Chairperson of MWAC, Madam Tapida Kibochi, and our esteemed team, DSM, DFSM, ESM, our dear families present, warrant officers, senior NCUs, and service members present. Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Kenya Army. Kenya Army. Allow me at this moment, first and foremost, seek to reflect on ourselves as individuals, albeit uniformed personnel, and our families. Because if we look into ourselves, we come from every corner of this great country. And God saw it fit for us to come together, join KDF, and most importantly, Kenya Army, and therefore become one family. I also want to recognize the families, because when they joined us, whether they are here or the ones in our families, they accepted to be part and parcel of this great family of Kenya Army. I would also want to thank Commander Kenya Army, the CDF, Defense Council, and also the Commander-in-Chief for having the confidence and trust to see that I can take up the challenge of being the Army Commander, and I'll remain indebted to all of them. To the families, led by Mwak. I know the outgoing commander has also mentioned about you. But there is a special element in you that has really touched us as the leadership and the family of KDF. You have allowed us the opportunity to work well. You have also complemented in command, and I want to believe our welfare now is well positioned due to your input. Continue with the same spirit. I know, sir, at this particular moment, it's a great moment when we witness the transition of leadership of Kenya Army. But I want to reflect on again things which I've seen in you as a commitment, fear, resilience, and you are out to give the best to the Kenya Army. You have lived the true to the vision and mission of the Kenya Army by always endeavoring and ensuring that the arrowhead is sharpened. You remain an embodiment of success, especially in operations you initiated and oversaw during your tenure. Recalling the process of handover takeover, when it commenced, I clearly remember your deliberate brief on what are the projections, the vision of the Kenya Army. Also, you brought out the deployments of our troops across the country, the plans in place to further Kenya Army, and even the challenges also. You did not state, but on the challenges, you also brought out very clearly the mitigating plans in place so that we can overcome them. Mine is to promise you that I will follow the same trajectory so that the Kenya Army reaches where the vision and desires of the leadership is. You also never took tired. Because I recall after the brief you said, the best place to understand where Kenya Army is going to the arrowhead. And as you correctly said, we visited depots, a lot of FOBs, we visited them, the close-ups as well, Operation Amani Boni, the security arrangement for LAPSET, as well as the LNC FOBs. Because you are convinced the best to do it was by going and seeing, understanding the plans in place, what is happening, and then so that we can have a projection and plans of where the Army requires to be. You have done an excellent job leading these great men and women during a very dynamic and complex security situation. But what I can see and what I can say, you should be proud of all the accomplishments the Kenya Army has achieved during your tenure. After your 4 years of stewardship, you are leaving a stronger army, an army that is founded on professionalism and able to respond to any crisis or any developmental plans or tasking are allocated to the army. We have seen enormous patriotism in defending the territorial integrity of our country against external aggression and aiding the civil authorities whenever called upon as enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya. As a result, you have always guarded the interests of our great country, Kenya, and your father endeavored and indeed sharpened the arrowhead. Allow me to appreciate the great work that was done by the commanders at different levels, the trainers, the staff, officers, and staff personnel at Headquarters Kenya Army for supporting the outgoing commander to steer the army in all ways to ensure that the standards, the army stands strong in day-to-day endeavors. I request that you extend the same support and cooperation to me. I would also want to express my deep personal appreciation, gratitude in the manner in which the commander personally took me through over the years in mentorship. I have consulted you in many times, and you're always keen to hear. As we continue to visit various areas, I remember sharing with you the early moments of the night, of the day that you used to call me just to understand where we were and what we are progressing in my previous deployment. For the leadership of various formations, as I have mentioned earlier, I would also want to assure you the same commitment that the commander had to you through guidance, I will also offer you. So my doors will remain open so that we can continue with the same arrangements. I understand there are a lot of challenges we are facing today, but with the plans in place and teamwork, we shall overcome. And therefore, the challenges shall always be met with a clear, open, a focused mind, effective partnership, and synchronized efforts from all corners. We shall continue providing deterrence, confronting us, as well as the diverse demands of irregular and hybrid warfare. Our ability to respond when called depends on the skills and dedication of the great men and women serving the army. Outgoing Commander, sir, I know you have taken me through a lot. But there is nothing that we can offer you at this particular moment. What we can do is to offer prayers to you, seek God's blessings and good health when you are going to your next commitment. You are served in this nation with great honor, and therefore it's our prayer that once you move to the next commitment, which usually is our 5th period of training. The resettlement is our 5th period of training. So we pray for you that you have enough energy and strength to be able to effect or implement that next commitment. And to our command group and staff of the headquarters, I call upon, we overcommand the prayers, and also I would want to urge you that we continue with the same spirit that you set and rhythm, trajectory, so that we can get to the next level of the Kenya Army. With those few remarks, allow me also to recognize, I think our families, I know we are not able to do whatever we are doing if it is not with your support. I came with my wife, Mercy. She's Mercy Bogo. I know many of you call me NJIRU, but she's Mercy Bogo. We have our firstborn daughter, Lorraine. Our second daughter, Dolin, and our lastborn, who is a son, Raya. Text. So for me, at this particular moment, is just to say, I am joining a working system. I'm joining an headquarter that is functional, professional, or committed to its work. And therefore mine, I wish just to continue with the same trajectory that the Kenya Army, led by the outgoing Army commander, the trajectory it was following, that is the same I will follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our outgoing commander, General Raila, together with your family. Our new commander, Lieutenant NJIRU, together with your family. The general officers present here, the formation commanders, senior officers, staff wote wa headquarter, our DFSM, Koranga, our ASM, thank you, representing all the service members that we have. Our families here, represented by the Military Wives Association of Kenya, chaired by Madam Tabitha Kibochi, and all your team members, all the families, members of the 4th Estate. Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant General Mwangi, the Vice Chancellor, National Defense University, Kenya, and I want to begin by thanking God for making this day to happen. Let me also thank the outgoing commander and the incoming commander for inviting us to this very historic occasion of command changeover at the headquarters, Kenya Army, and of course of the Kenya Army. It's a great moment indeed. And I want to say that I'm so proud of General Raila. He has been a trailblazer. We walked out of the former Armed Forces Training College together. Him coming from Kajiado and I coming from Nyandarua. We met on the same day in Nakuru Lanet. But what they did not tell us is that we would be living at different times. He lives today and my time will come. General Raila, after 40 years, I'm very happy for you. General Raila has always been ahead of me. And there's a lot that I can say about the great general. But most admirable is that he has been a leader. When on the day we commissioned, he was one of our junior under officers. He led a platoon. I did not get that time or the opportunity to lead one, but he did. But in service again, he has always been ahead of me. And I was very proud one time when I served under this same roof with him. I as Chief of Operations and him as the Deputy Army Commander. And after 2 years, he rose to become the Army Commander again. I was also very privileged to work under him. Under very, very difficult circumstances, many times we would go to him and he always remained sober. He always had a good word to be able to turn the tides even when times were bad. But when times were too good also, you know him. And you know he can give a good laugh. He's a great man. Thank you, sir. Now, sir, as you go, I want to pray to God that he guides you, that he holds your hand. You have given your all. You go down in history, in recent history, as one of the longest commanders of our service. Please extend a round of applause to him. I also want to appreciate your family, and you have recognized that without the support of your family, perhaps life would have been very difficult. And as you go home with your smaller team, let me also invite this gathering here to extend a round of applause to your family. Let me now turn to my commander, my new commander, Lieutenant General NJIRU. I thank God for you. We have come a long way together, and I am also very, very grateful to the Corps of Artillery for having brought us up so well that you were able to rise that position that you have risen to become the commander of the Kenya Army. I'm grateful to our Corps because it is composed of a group of great leaders that have brought us, that guided us to come this far. Now, to my general colleagues and all the officers and service members, I want to request you and to ask you, I know we have been commanded to obey, but then, General NJIRU, in this team, this big team, you have a great team that you can always turn to in good times and bad times, because you need a shoulder on which you can lean on in good times and bad times. General NJIRU, we want to wish you well. We are so grateful to you. We can always turn to us to extend help and even to laugh a little bit, because big office is also very lonely. So if you find time, please call us and we'll be able to join up with you to be able to encourage you as you take the great mantle of leading our KDF as part of our KDF. For this country, I think you have a great leader in General NJIRU. KDF should be able to find a lot of comfort in having appointed General NJIRU as our commander. Let me ask this team again to extend a round of applause to General NJIRU and his family and all of us for a good job. So let me end it there and to thank you very much once again for inviting us here.
Thank you, General.
Thank you.
Sir, the next item on the program will be signing of handover and taking over certificate. I now kindly request the outgoing commander, Lieutenant General Koipaton, to take his position to sign the handing over certificate. Next, sir, I kindly request the incoming commander, Lieutenant General NJIRU, to take his position to sign the taking over certificate. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I'm going to read to you a short biography of the incoming commander. Lieutenant General Peter Mbogo is the commander of the Kenya Army. Following his promotion and appointment on 20th of June this year, he was enlisted into the Kenya Defense Forces as an officer cadet on 24th June 1985 and commissioned as a second lieutenant on 26th June 1986. Upon commissioning, he was posted to 77 Artillery Battalion as a troop commander and later where became a commanding officer in the same unit. He served in many regimental capacities, key among them administration officer, adjutant, battery captain, battery commander, instructor in Air Defense Wing, staff officer 2, training, also an instructor in gunnery, a desk officer, operations and logistics, staff officer 2 in personnel and logistics, a battalion second in command, and became a commanding officer in 2006 in 77 Artillery Battalion in Mariakani. During his illustrious career in the Kenya Defense Forces, Lieutenant General NJIRU has held various command and staff and instructional related appointments in various Kenya Defense Forces establishments, including Staff Officer 1 or an SO1, responsible for operations, plans, doctrine, and training at the Kenya Defense Headquarters. In addition, he served as an NEC to the Commander-in-Chief, Commandant Recruit Training School in Eldoret, Commandant Kenya Military Academy in Lanet, Commandant Joint Command and Staff College, formerly known as Defense Staff College in Karen, and currently he is the Commander, Kenya Army. He has also served in the United Nations mission in Sudan, commonly known as UNMISS, where he was commanding officer of the Kenya Battalion and a staff officer in the United Nations mission in Ethiopia and Eritrea. Lieutenant General NJIRU has attended diverse local and overseas courses related to leadership, command, and management. These include, but are not limited to, Junior Command Course, Grade 2 Staff Course, Peace Support Operations, African Disarmament Course, Joint Senior Command Course, International Battle Group Commanders Course, and Next Generation of Military Leaders Course, Royal College of Defense Studies Course, and Public Finance Management Workshop. Lieutenant General NJIRU is a graduate of Royal College of Defense Studies course in the United Kingdom, and he earned a Master of Arts in International Security and Strategy from King's College, London. In recognition for his distinguished and exemplary service, His Excellency, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, has awarded him Chief of Burning Spear, that is CBS, among others. Lieutenant General Peter Mbogo NJIRU is married and is blessed with 3 children. Thank you very much. And next now, we will have the change of a guard parade. March on.
Na ndio kama hivyo ni rasmi sasa, jeshi la nchi kavu limepata uongozi mpya na anaingia ni Luteni Jenerali Peter Mbogo NJIRU na anamrithi Luteni Walter Koipaton katika wadhifa huo wa kamanda mpya wa jeshi la KDF. Kwa hiyo KDF ni rasmi sasa imepata uongozi mpya na si mwingine ila ni Luteni Jenerali Peter Mbogo NJIRU ambaye bila shaka mmemwona akizungumza baada ya kupokezwa wadhifa rasmi, kutia saini baadhi ya vitu na stakabadhi muhimu kuhakikisha kwamba kweli yupo katika madaraka kuanzia sasa. Kwa hiyo mbali na haya ni kwamba tunazungumzia masuala ambayo yanahusiana na uchaguzi, na hapo mwanzo tulikuwa tumeanza kutizama wasifu wa wanaogombea nyadhifa za urais, wanne akiwa bila shaka wanne akiwemo Raila Amolo Odinga, William Ruto, Wajakoya na vile vile David Maure. Na vile vile pia tunatarajia wakati wote kuanzia sasa, kutokea sasa, kuna taarifa ambayo tunaisubiri kutoka ikulu ya rais. Kwa hiyo tunasubiri itakapofika rasmi, bila shaka tutakuletea moja kwa moja kutoka ikulu ya rais hapa jijini Nairobi. Sasa tulikuwa tumeanza kuangalia hawa wagombea wanne kwa sababu macho yote ya Kenya yatakuwa hapo kesho. Licha kwamba wengine watakuwa wanachaguliwa pia katika nyadhifa mbalimbali, lakini wahusika wakuu ambao bila shaka wamekuza joto la kisiasa nchini ni hawa wanne. Na hapa studio nao wageni wangu ambao bila shaka tutakuwa tunachanganua mawili matatu kuhusiana na haya na ni yapi ya kutizamwa hapo kesho, ambapo watu watakuwa wanatekeleza haki yao ya demokrasia katika vituo mbalimbali vya kupigia kura kote nchini. Na yote pia tutakuwa tunakuletea kupitia wanahabari wetu ambapo wote wako katika maeneo tofauti kuzungumzia maswala na kutujuza yapi yanatokea ya muhimu katika maeneo hayo. Kwa hiyo nataka niwakaribishe studio wageni wangu, mmoja akiwa Paul Mashari ambaye bila shaka ni mchambuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa na pia ni wakili, na pia tunaye Joy Mdivo ambaye pia ni wakili na